Hey, how's it going? How you doing? Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having a great cheeky Tuesday. Today we're going to do some very straightforward food actually. We're going to do witch's fingers. So we're going to make the hot dogs itself. So we're going to make a nice little kind of green hot dog. We're also going to do the actual hot dogs itself, which I'm not going to make for myself because I obviously haven't got the grinder or the mincer to do it, so or the skins. But I bought some. We're going to play around with them. I was going to serve it with some cheese and hatch green chili inside. A little bit of tomato sauce for them being chopped off. And also we're going to serve them with some sweet potato, pumpkin, I wouldn't say fries, more like discs. You'll see what I mean, but we're going to bake it off anyway. So, but I hope you're going to enjoy today and appreciate everyone tuning in. So 250 grams of bread flour. Here's one. 2 pinches. Beautiful. We also want about, oh wait, I want a little bit more than 2 pinches. Sorry, I want about roughly 8 grams. So I've got 5 grams in there, maybe 3 pinches then. 8 grams of sugar. So this sugar will help give the food for the yeast, so it'll help improve. 3 important things when it comes to yeast and improving doughs and breads. Sugar, warmth, so basically food, warmth, and time. Those are the 3 things you're kind of looking for. If you don't have any of those, then it'll take a lot longer, or it won't actually prove properly. So it's always important. Those 3 things are very important when it comes to kind of bread and doughs and things like that. 4 grams. 6. Just a touch more. 6, 8. Beautiful. There we go. So we've got 8 grams in there. Oh yeah, 20 ml of vegetable oil or canola oil, whichever you've got, will work exactly the same anyway. So let's change this to mils. Let's reset that. So about 20 ml. 15. 20. Perfect. Yeah, it's really important to make sure the water is warm. So any higher than like 40 Celsius, which I don't know in Fahrenheit that is, you're going to start kind of pushing towards killing the yeast. So you don't want it that warm. I'd say the optimum temperature you want, I mean, you can do it at 40, that's fine, but 35 is a really good warmth. So we'll do that. And they only need about, what, 150 mil? 125, something like that. Let me just double check. So let's fill this up. So this is nice and warm. With 140 and we'll see how we're looking. So let's pop that straight in there. So we need 2 teaspoons of yeast. Now when you're using the yeast, try and avoid using the instant dry yeast. The instant dry is quicker, and second of all, I'm not a huge fan of using that one. Now just the dry active yeast is absolutely fine, so you know you don't need to go too crazy with it. So 2 teaspoons in there. Perfect. So we're going to give that a nice little mix up until that dissolves in really nicely. Oof. Also, not forgetting my green gel as well. We'll get that mixed in a second. I'm just going to give this a mix. Sometimes you get like little clumps of salt in one place, and you don't really want that. So just give that a kind of a mix around, just to kind of incorporate it. So if you do have like concentrated bits of salt in there, sometimes it can like kill off some of the yeast. So just be careful with that. Just make sure it's incorporated nicely. It's not too much salt in there either. So let's pour the mix straight in. I do need to actually add a little bit of gel, so I'm going to add the gel at the same time. So I'm going to pour the mix in first. So there we go. So the yeast gone in. And also with a bit of green gel food coloring we're going to use as well. So I'm going to put about, I'd say about a teaspoon in there. I'm not going to go too crazy. Just using the end of the spoon just to kind of get it out. So there we go. So just going to give this a nice little mix up. Let me pull off all the green things off my fingers. The green things. Off the dough, sorry. And then we're going to give this a nice little knead very steadily. So using the heels of your hands to knead the dough. Making sure, I suppose you could do it like that, but it's more efficient to make sure you're using your heels of your hands to really knead it give it a really nice stretch. So you're stretching that gluten, developing the structure for the bread, or for the buns, shall we say. Right, so this is nice and smooth now. So what we're going to do, just pull that across. There we go. Doesn't look like a lot. It's a big booger, Kappa. No, it's ready to go. So we're going to get probably about two hot dogs or buns out of it. Maybe we can get 4. If you let it prove long enough, you should be able to. So, but these are good to go. So what we're going to do, grab my bowl again. I haven't put it in the wash, just on the side. And we'll put this in the bowl, covered. Just a little dust in the flour. You don't want too much, and then just cling the top so it doesn't stick. So what we're going to do, the end pieces I'll keep, but I feel like we're not going to get much out of that. So I don't want them too thick. So let's just slice these up very carefully now, and then we can carve some nice little faces out of them. Hilarious. Right. My little knife. So we're going to do some nice little faces on here. So let's have a look. There we go. Pumpkin fries. Easy. But they're not pumpkin, they're sweet potato. There you go. Right. So let's pop these on here. Should fit all these on here. If we roast these off now, they'll be a little bit early, but we can marinate them, get them ready to go, and then we can pop them in later on. Pretty much when the bread is pretty much ready to go, and I'll put these in as well. So, okay. A little bit of, I've been marinating my own, what's it called? White truffle oil. You can buy this in, I find it hard work today. I don't know why. You can buy this in Whole Foods, and it's about $15. It's proper truffle oil. I used the entire bottle up, but I filled it back up. Can you see there in the bottom corner? That's where the truffle is. So what I did was actually filled it back up with oil, and I've let this marinate now for about 5 months. So it's been in here for like 5 months now. So opening it. Smells fantastic. Smells really good. So we got some more truffle oil. So that's been marinating for quite a while. So save yourself some money. Just refill the bottle up. These are called Nathan's. These are beef franks. It says no artificial colors or flavors, no fillers by products, and no gluten, corn, or starch. And I'm dripping all over the place. Look at me. Look at it. It's just like dripping. Right. So I don't really want to kind of cut this in half. I kind of want to kind of almost like break it or tear it so it looks like it's been naturally snapped off or somebody's pulled the finger off. Carve these fingers. A lot of carving today. But thank you, Cedars, for the support, buddy. I really appreciate it. Kind of looks like a finger. Kind of. And I'll put these in the bowl. What we're going to do, we're going to boil these down as well. Ready to go later on. So I'm going to put these into a bowl, which we made this morning. So it turned out pretty good with a bit of truffle, a bit of oil, and a little bit of salt. Right, so here's our green dough. It's a little, I might have gone a little crazy with the green. I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. Oh, it smells amazing. It smells amazing. But that's proved really nicely. We're just going to, look at that air bubble. Beautiful. Just going to knock it back. Knock all that air out of it. So we're going to get, hopefully 2. If it's a little big, then maybe 4. We'll see. Look at those beautiful bubbles. Come on, camera. There we go. Oh, focus. There we go. Sorry, I was moving my hands too much. Actually, we can probably do 4, because this is going to be far too big. So what I'm going to do, cut that in half again. I'm just thinking about it now. And with the size of the hot dogs as well, I feel like 2 is going to be far too small. Too big, sorry. So let me turn my oven on. I need to let these prove again anyway, but let's just get the oven onto the right temperature anyway. I'm going to put it on for 400 Fahrenheit, which is 200 Celsius for you folk for Celsius. So basically what all I'm doing is pretty much using my like thumb and index finger just to kind of like almost make kind of like a trough. Does that make sense? Or like a ditch. And I'm kind of just pushing it outwards so you get a nice little flat oval. So if you're like wondering, Chef, how do you do that? So sometimes as well, if the corners aren't flat, I just fold them over and then start again. And then just using my thumbs to really kind of like push it forward so they're stuck inside, and we're just kind of pushing it out, trying to get it as nice and neat and tidy as possible. And then you end up with a nice little flat bun. Little brush. Now we got shiny boogers. So that's going over. That's going to go back into the warm room. Well, in the back room, pretty much. It's nice and warm in there. So what we're going to do with that, just going to pop that on there. I'm going to give it about 10-15 minutes. It's not going to take too long. I don't want this to prove too crazy. Just a little bit, just to kind of get it going. So there is my Halloween mask for Thursday. It's got fluffy hair. His hair's all gone funny. So we're going to slice this up for caramelized onions. We don't want to make too much. Just going to slice them up really nice and thin. So watch your fingers. You can cut them the other way if you want to. I feel that this way will be fine. So there we go. About 2 teaspoons of oil or tablespoon should be fine. There we go. That's fine. And what we're going to do is just move that oil around the pan. Get that nice and hot. Once that's nice and hot, we'll start adding the onions and cooking them down very gently. Not too hot. Not going too crazy. A bit of saltiness to it. I love cheeses like this. It's great. Very crumbly though, but very delicious at the same time. Don't want to go too crazy with the cheese as well. We're just going to cut a few up. Just going to wrap that up and put it back in. So let's grab our onions. Just pretty much just cooking them down very nicely. Don't have it on too high because you'll burn them. You just want to kind of cook them down gently, just until like the sugars of the onions kind of come out and they start caramelizing and going brown. You don't want them to burn. If they start going really dark, you got the heat on too high. Add a little touch of water, and what it'll do is pull up all those sugars that are caramelized on the pan. So just a little bit in there. Don't need to go too crazy. So all the sugar that's coming out of the onions is pretty much going on the bottom of the pan. And by adding some water, it will pick up the sugar and the caramelizations and put them back into the onions again. So put them into a pan. We're just going to kind of simmer them down. We don't want to like cook them down too much. I mean, if you got a bit of beer to cook them down in, that'd be great. Just a standard kind of ale. You know, you could use that. Would be a bit more flavor, but we're just going to use them for now. So ready to rock and roll. No puns there, I promise. Promise! Right. So my buns, or my roll, shall I say, will come out very wonderful. Look at that. Nice and soft. Perfect. So we're going to let that rest. Yeah, it's not going to... yeah, it's not working. Kind of, maybe. at that beautiful green bun. Oh, it's so soft as well. Look at that. Very soft. Very nice. Okay. So a bit of green chili. Also got a little bit of cheese in there as well. Just gonna break it down very nicely. It's got a nice little bit of cheese. If you don't want green chili, that's fine. You can just leave it out. And then obviously the cheeky witch's finger. Which I feel like yeah, a little bit hard to kind of stand up a little bit, but that's okay. Look like worms. There we go. Let me give you a little bit more of a guided tour, shall we? So, there we go. There is our delicious witch's fingers. So, hot dogs. Sweet potato fried pumpkin face. Prized pumpkin faces. Caramelized onion worms. Ketchup blood, which obviously I didn't make, but the homemade buns I made. It's got hatch green chili, cheese, and then obviously the hot dogs and the ketchup and the onions. And obviously the green is the dye as well. The food coloring dye, sorry. So guys, have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for all the love and support. I'll see you tomorrow, 10 AM Mountain Time. Much love. Bye for now.